Valerie Brown from Travel Adventures with Valerie Brown, and I want to inspire you to travel. Today's episode, well, we're going to talk about my recent trip. I was on the Princess Majestic, sailing from Sydney to the Fiji Islands, and the trip was great. I had a wonderful time, but Princess needs to step up their game a little bit. There's a lot of, I want to talk about the pluses and minuses of the trip. And there's more pluses and minuses, but the minuses also have to be addressed. They were terribly understaffed. They admitted that they were over 350 people understaffed. And that really showed in the bars. There was never enough bartenders. In our dining room that we initially had, and we switched, all of the people we were sent to were just being trained how to serve people. And dinner could take up to 3 hours because of that, because they really didn't know what they were doing. They only had one small pool available outside, and that was basically the children's pool. There's a lot of wasted space on the pool deck. They now have a lobster grill, which is great if you want to pay $29 for a lobster, or you can get a hot dog or hamburger, and that's free. The internet was a very poor quality, and I had to pay for a lot of minutes to do my blogging while on board, and it was a lot of wasted minutes. There were very limited outdoor activities by the pool area, which is unusual. Usually that takes up a lot of the activities. The food was adequate. Usually Princess has a couple days where the food is exceptional. In this case, it was adequate, the entire cruise. We did go to the 3 specialty restaurants, my sister and I. We went to the Crown Grill, which was excellent. The food was excellent, but unfortunately we had a server with an attitude. So that kind of spoiled the whole dinner, but the food was excellent. We also went to the new Harmony Chinese restaurant with a group. Unfortunately, one of the people got food poisoning the next day, so that doesn't say a lot for the Chinese restaurant. And then we went to the French restaurant. And honestly, if I could have gotten out of paying for it, I would have. I just was not happening with the French restaurant. Now, one of my favorite places on board, well, there were 2. We ended up going to dinner in the Concerto dining room, and that was wonderful. The service was wonderful. The servers were all very well trained, and they did their best to take care of us. And also Alfredo's Pizzeria. So you used to be able to get pizza in the buffet area. You could get it 12 hours a day. That's not the case anymore. You have to go to the pizzeria and you have to sit down. It doesn't cost anything, but you have to use that as one of the restaurant options. And their pizza was excellent. We went there 3 times during a 14-day cruise because it was really good. So just a few more minuses, and then I'm through with the minuses. One of the things I objected to was I'm a platinum status. I still have another 15 days to go to get to their elite status. And they took away some of our things that we've had in the past, and we don't have that much now. And they've taken away, but everybody's cutting costs, budget costs everywhere, so I understand that. The hot tubs that they had were only on warm, and that's because children go into them. You know, they can't boil the skin off children, they can only boil it off adults. So if you wanted a good hot tub, hot tub, it wasn't happening. It took them about 4 days to fix this. They have movies under the stars, or movies outside by the pool area every day. And the first few days you could not hear the audio very well. Everything was, there's too much outside noise, but it took about 4 days, and then they got it corrected. So those are the minuses. Now we're going to go to the pluses. And there were a lot of pluses. It was a great cruise. We met great people, we met great staff. I still have my platinum happy hour every night, and I had so much fun at it, and my sister enjoyed it too. She'd never been to a Princess happy hour. And I did have some issues in the beginning with Princess, and Carlos, the customer service representative at their guest desk, did an outstanding job in helping me get them resolved. Now I know 3 chords now. Unfortunately, I can only play 1 chord at a time, but I do know 3 chords for the ukulele, and they're very patient with me. And after a few days, they said, well, why don't you sing the songs? You're a better singer than ukulele player. So I did have fun doing that. And the cruise line did have a lot of indoor activities. There were non-stop activities on sea days, and there were still activities on days in port for people that were staying on board. So that was really good that they had them. Just not as many outdoors, and a lot of us like them outdoors as well. The entertainment was great. Every night was a different show. They brought in lots of comedians from Australia. I really enjoyed them. Taking a few jokes from them for my comedy act. And every night was a different show. My favorite was the violinist Jack Hawkins on board. He's excellent. The production shows, they had two that were excellent, two that were okay. But the costuming and the sets were tremendous. I really am always impressed with the costume and sets on Princess Productions. Not so much with the singing and dancing, but it's good. We were on the Princess Majestic, which is only 2 years old, and one of the things that they have in the room now is they have the regular plugs that you can plug in, but they also have the USB plugs, which was nice, so you didn't have to use the regular plugs all the time. Another great thing that they had was the Australian dollar is so bad right now that my US dollar was worth a lot of money, and I appreciated that. I saved a lot of money on this trip, on everything, because of it. For most of the islands and Fiji Islands, it was tender transport, which is not always the easiest thing to do, but it went really well and really fast. They really got a good handle on that, and I appreciated that. The check-in was very fast for me, and I liked that. And finally, talking to the staff was interesting in how they recruit staff from around the world. So we met a lot of people from Ukraine and from China, and these staff members were recruited to come and see the world. But for the Filipinos and other third world countries, they said, now you can support your family. And that's very important too. You know, it's not all fun and games. So I really enjoyed that. So I told you about the trip. We went to the Fiji Islands, and my favorite islands were Travuni, which is a very small island with no movies, theaters, no stores, no cars. The only transportation in and out is by boat. Has about 2,000 village people. Beautiful island. 10 minutes to cross it, an hour to cross it the other way. And then Savasuba, that was also my favorite. Beautiful beaches. They all have beautiful beaches, but unfortunately most of the beautiful beaches now are being bought out by the resort. So unless you stay in the resort, you're not going to get to see those beautiful beaches in Fiji. But it was a great cruise, and I do recommend Princess Cruises. They do need to fix a few things, and especially on the Princess Majestic. And I'll be sailing on that ship again March 12th, maybe, 2020. I'm supposed to be sailing from Singapore to Hong Kong. We'll see if that cruise still goes. And I hope I've inspired you to cruise or to travel anywhere in the world. My name is Valerie Brown. I also have a blog, www.TAWVB.com. Please subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the blog, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.